Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to you to the webinar organized by Karnataka State Physiotherapy Federation. It's been a wonderful evening with cool weather here in Bangalore. I thank Dr. Kirti Priya for joining us to be a moderator for today's session. She's an assistant professor with Gautam College of Physiotherapy, Bangalore. Today's speaker, I welcome Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Giri, who is a very well-known speaker for us. She's had a couple of webinars with us now, and I'm sure she's going to put a lot of insight onto rehabilitation, a lateral approach in physiotherapy practice. I welcome you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
I welcome you, Dr. Kirti Priya, too,
Thank
to the webinar today. Please carry on, Dr. Kirti Priya.
Yes, sir. Hi, everyone. Good evening. A warm welcome to all of you for today's session. So today's speaker is Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Giri. Ma'am has done her MPT in neurology, and ma'am is CEO for Lalit Academy and Research Center, Dharwad. And she has been in fitness since 10 years, and she is consultant physiotherapist at Jatti College of Homeotherapy, Dharwad, Guttal College of Ayurved, Dharwad, and Manovika Center, Hubli. And ma'am is life member of Red Cross Indian Red Cross Society, and she is trained and certified pranic healer. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. Thanks for being in this session.
Yeah, thank you, Kirti Priya.
Yeah, ma'am, you can move forward.
Okay. So, warm welcome to all of y'all being live, and thank you, KSPF, for giving me this opportunity, platform to present myself. And also thank you specifically, Dr. Ayappan sir, for coordinating extensively with to bring out this topic of today. Dr. Sai Mahendra sir and Dr. Vinod Babu for all their coordinations, and thank you, Dr. Kirti Priya, for today's session. Okay, so today's topic. Physiotherapy rehabilitation is known worldwide, or is known to everyone. Okay, so I keep getting calls as a rehabilitation center also, like the addiction center. But physiotherapy rehabilitation is extensively a rehabilitation section. Now today I would be speaking or highlighting over the lateral approach that we have in our physical therapy practice. Okay, so before we go into the depth, I would love to address my friends for being a physiotherapy professional, for being a physical therapist, for working in an institution, for choosing this noble profession, just because we don't define in a single word to ourselves. So before starting with this, so all the physiotherapists, all the students, all the faculty members, please give a great applause to yourself for choosing this profession yourself. So I will do it to myself. Okay, so it's a very noble profession, which is very less approached in India, and what I see here in my place. Okay, so basically, to define, we physiotherapists have a lot of definitions. Yeah, so to come down to the basic levels, we are patient guiding, movement providing, functional restoring, treatment exploring, pain reducing, result producing, life repairing physical therapist. So why not say we are proud to be a physiotherapist? Yes, you can raise your collars and be proud of this profession. Okay. So small slides to take over here, which goes, when your pain compels you to take rest, only a physiotherapist keeps you moving, right? So that's just not rehabilitation, it's living. So another very important, which touched my heart, is this picture, which says a physiotherapist has a brain of a scientist. Wow, right? So he keeps innovating things. He becomes more creative as he becomes more passionate about the profession. He has an heart of the humanist who touches people who come across himself, and has a hands of an artist who can sculpture anybody's life to an active life. Wow. So physiotherapy keeps you moving. That's a statement which we um, uh, highlight. Okay, stamp it up. So a lateral approach, which we have chosen here, is extensively a different topic for today, which took my time as well. But I love to take up this topic while I was talking to Dr. Ayyappan here. So this particular picture gives a small definition about what exactly lateral thinking is, which was given by Edward de Bono, lateral thinking picture. So lateral thinking means think more, think differently, think radically. Okay. So we see a picture on the left hand side which says, you know, a linear approach, a conventional approach of physiotherapy towards a problem will just give one solution, while lateral thinking, a lateral way of approach goes beyond the problem and seeks a solution, not just one way, but in many different ways. So lateral thinking breaks the existing patterns and changes paradigms. It generates more ideas and develops fresh thinking. It solves challenging problems in a new and different ways. So lateral thinking helps us think differently. So the picture was so liked by me that all the bulbs being lighted over there, that we start becoming a scientist. Okay. So as a tagline goes, for a physiotherapist of adding life to the years, let me put this picture as in front of you all to just to project the statistics globally. Okay. So when we see a global population by 2020 as rated here, 9.6 billion people would be there, of which 2 billion aged over 60 and above, and 400 million people would be aged 80 and over. So you can see the percentage over there. So physically active people, which we see, which would be there at that time, 50% would be lower risk of functional limitations. 40% would have lower death rate. That means people who are physically active throughout their life would definitely increase their life expectancy. Now, when we come to the conditions, the top leading conditions that we see for the reason for the death, let me take stroke, where 6 million deaths are seen annually. 5 million people are permanently disabled by stroke. So what here? Physiotherapy helps people reach their physical potential after stroke and reduces readmission to the hospitals and the care costs. Okay, so it's going to be a very important part in the condition of stroke. Now, when we see dementia, 20% of dementia risk may be due to physical inactivity. 10 million cases of dementia would be avoided if older adults met exercise recommendations. That means physiotherapists can promote mobility, independence, and quality of life in people with dementia. Right? So, fall in elderly is increasing naturally. Okay. Every year, an estimated around 6.5 lakhs people die globally every year due to fall, out of which 80% are from the lower and the middle income countries. Now, when we see the statistics globally here, 32% of over 70s fall each year. Okay, 10 to 25 of the fallers sustain very serious injury. So, physiotherapy-led exercise programs for the older people reduces fall by 32%. That means we are going to make a change. We are going to change the definition. We are going to change the lives. We are going to make them aware of or prevent them from falling by very different approaches, maybe modification, home modification, or anything that they would need, right? Now, physical activity and improving health. Now, when we talk about a human body, I mean a person, a human, we divide it into physical body and a mental body. So when the physical body becomes inactive, we have a statistics over here that physical inactivity is the 4th leading risk factor for global mortality, right? It's a 4th leading risk factor, which is responsible for 6% of deaths around the world. So what we see the next right side of it is like regular physical activity reduces the risk of many conditions. Okay, so let me just run across the conditions over here. The colon cancer can be reduced by 30 to 40%. Breast cancer can be reduced by 20 to 30%. Cardiovascular diseases can be reduced by 20 to 30%. Type 2 diabetes can be reduced by 20 to 30%. Hypertension can be reduced by 26 to 28%, whereas stroke can be reduced by 20 to 30%. This is given globally, right? So people are becoming more inactive, with many adults spending 70% or more of their waking hours sitting down. That's a sedentary lifestyle, or may start even earlier in the life, and that may lead issues in the later lifestyle. Now, as I said, physical body addressed and the statistics seen, so is your mental health, which can even be related over here. Okay, so I'll just run across the statistics over here. 1 in 4 people will experience the mental health condition in one or the other form in their lifetime. It is estimated that 1 in 6 in recent days that everybody experiences a common mental health problem. So the mental health problems are one of the main causes of overall disease burden worldwide. Remember that it's a main causative factor. So people with severe mental disorders die on an average. People with severe mental disorders die on an average 10 to 20 years earlier. That means the life expectancy is reduced just because of mental stress or mental disorders. So often of a preventive non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, particularly in the low and the middle income settings. So 70% of the premature deaths in mental health patients are exclusively because of poor physical health. I repeat, it is 70% given globally. Premature deaths. We are seeing today 28 years, 30 years, right? So this figure may go beyond the ratings here, right? So physiotherapists work with the patients who have depression alongside long-term health issues. So as we study in our UG, PG, the disadvantages of immobilization, so is due to the mental health issues, who become immobile eventually. So let's take a percentage over here again. 20% of the people living with osteoarthritis have depression or anxiety. Yes, we do see clinically. 33% of stroke patients have depression. Once a stroke strikes, the family members themselves become depressed. Why me? Why him? Now, the person who attains the stroke himself would take it as a life end position, right? So definitely he drops into depression, and it's very difficult to get him out. So it is like 33% of the stroke patients have depressions over here. So 38% of the people with fatality have depression. So that exercise is an evidence-based depression treatment exclusively for depression. Why? When we question this, there are a lot of them, but few listed here. I would like to read it to you all. It offers protection against the emergency of the depression. It has better outcomes which are achieved when exercises are delivered by a physiotherapist. It prevents the development of the mental health issues. People with depression and schizophrenia are less likely to stop exercising when supported by a physiotherapist. That means the physiotherapist works hand in hand with such patients, right? It improves the quality of life and self-esteem of the people experiencing mental health issues. It has a large and significant antidepressant effect in the people with depression. So this specific slide, I liked it so much just because it's a huge difference that we play a role. We play a major role with the people and their life, okay, to give an unimaginable difference to the person himself or the family members or the society around them, right? So improving mental health with exercises is definitely, this is my one of my favorite slide here for today. Exercise and activity have a wide range of health benefits for your mind as well as your body. So exercises keep you moving from head to toe, what we say. So the long-lasting musculoskeletal disorder and the mental health problems are leading causes of sick leave worldwide. So we have very few people who work non-stop. You know, they are awarded. You know, they have not taken any leave. But the physical inactivity itself causes, it is a leading cause for the sick leaves worldwide, right? So once we make everyone active, so the world would run like anything. So to meet the needs of the patient, physiotherapists offer a wide range of approaches with a focus on human movement and function. Let me repeat this very much. To meet the needs of a patient, physiotherapist offers a wide range of approaches with a focus on human movement and function. So it is our main component of physiotherapy where we make a difference here. Okay, so people with mental health issues are more at risk of having poor physical health. So once we keep everybody active, brain develops lot of neuronal connections and brain becomes active, and hence we reduce upon the mental health issues. Okay, so as the thing goes, next slide, with the tagline again I've added here, but here I would stress upon that aging is a process, but a healthy aging is my choice or our choice. So aging should be with passion and a purpose. So wherein we as a physiotherapist can add life to the years. Definitely, yes. And this has been a very colorful picture for us to make proud of choosing our life. It is usually said that once a person signs up the form of a profession, maybe a teacher, maybe a doctor, MBBS, maybe any profession or any branch of science or anything in the life, he decides his destiny. Well, I didn't know that physiotherapy really would make a difference in my life. But today, I love my profession. I'm so proud of choosing this profession because it is a main, like a change bringing noble profession. Okay. So before going to the next slide, I would like to put a simple highlight over the, profession that we pass through, physiotherapy. I've divided into 3 parts, which I will just highlight certain things, okay, into transition 1, transition 2, and 3. So when we go for the transition number 1, so which shows with the picture, which goes like we are finishing our undergraduation. That's Bachelor of Physiotherapy. Now here a small, very small, highlights to the students who are undergoing physiotherapy, who have not seen the world yet. Before finishing, they are into that traditional learning classes and seeing cases clinically and everything. Where just like to say that academics teaches us a theoretical part related to physiotherapy. Yeah, we need to read them. We need to have a basics, like we study our first standard, second standard to reach 10th. Yes, we need to finish all these years of our physiotherapy undergraduation. And exactly when we enter into the practical field, maybe you may start seeing the cases right from the first year of your undergraduation, or you may start in the second year, but you are going to see the cases. So when we enter into the practical field, many plan to implement what we have learned, right? That's how we, memorize, or we always used to have combined studies, saying that Ratta Mat Marya, let's put it into practicality and remember things. We used to make those what all rice or whatever, right? So to remember them. So nothing wrong in that, but each person, each patient is different in its own, right? So before going into anything, let us be proud. Okay, be proud that you are going to be a part of this wonderful life-changing profession, which you will realize only when you cross the finish line. So learn your basics well. All the students take utmost benefit of your courses, your years that are going on. Do not waste any time saying that, it's volatile, I cannot get it into. Some or the other way, you have to learn your basics well. Yes, even I didn't know it, but I repent why I didn't do well in my UG. So instead of you all saying as mine, statement as mine, you better start, learning your basics well, and definitely enjoy your learning. Yes, make it enjoyable, fun while you're reading, and have a lot of different, things that you can learn through along with your colleagues, right? So now the next slide which I'm showing here is a very known slide for the physiotherapist, where two human bodies with their all the diseases at the site, and with the tagline where physiotherapy can help you, you can see a physiotherapist without a referral. So this becomes a question mark. A lot of questionable situations arise here, that we can approach a physiotherapist without a referral. But yes, definitely when I take it to the next slide of transition 2, that is our master's degree, the MPT, Masters in Physiotherapy. Now that we have come a step ahead after finishing the bachelor's, you master your basics. To all the PGs, you have learned by advanced study in depth. You are learning, or you may have come to the end of PG. Here we start diagnosing from the physiotherapy point of view. Then we select, you select your area of concern, interest, and start acquiring in-depth knowledge in neuroscience, sports science, geriatrics, pediatrics, orthopedics, cardiorespiratory, etc. Now these branches in physiotherapy are expanding like anything. We have extensively, when we go internationally, we have exclusive super specialization into biomechanics, kinesiology, hand, and whatnot. So this is like a non-stopping expansion that we are seeing in physiotherapy that we have nowadays. So if we can apply lateral approach to our treatment protocol with the basis of the knowledge that we have learned in our UG and PG, we can definitely achieve fantastic results and happily add life to the years of the person or the patient. Yes, so enjoy learning to the hilt, and all the best to the PGs, and love what you're doing. So the saying goes, when you cross the line, finishing line, no matter how slow or fast. Some may even flunk, you know. So it will definitely change your life forever, and also it can change the people's life accordingly. The transition 3. Now, as we finish bachelor's, MPT, the transition 3 is when you fall into the practicing field. Some may go for PhDs, some may go for higher, learning. Some may go for a year course of, like super specialization. But most of them start their practice, maybe in an institution or maybe in a clinical field itself, full time. Here, I would just like to rush upon with my transition here, what we would definitely say as a metamorphosis, right? So my transition from a student to practitioner has been a real, what we say, tornado run, you know, which really changed my view about physiotherapy. Exactly, I became passionate about profession. I'll just put that, okay? So to start with, the degree that I did was, just my parents put me into it, and I did it for the sake of doing. From KLE Belgaum, I finished, and post-graduation was the sake of learning. Yes, I went into a merit seat, and it was from one of the best institute of India, Mahe Manipal. And then I used to just be in PG, as a student. Now I'm practicing clinically. Full time, and that was initially being done for the perfection and satisfaction that I was searching after UG and PG. Now, the initial start of this clinical practice was very hazy, bumpy, frustrating, as to put what you have learned. Okay, as everyone does, did I do the same thing? It never gave a good feedback to me with the challenging right race. As the years passed by with the practice still going on amidst doctors, references, direct references, and here I had to learn. I learned newer approaches to execute my knowledge and be different and bring the difference in my working area. Okay, so I've just put it across like maybe evidence-based study, target-oriented practice, tailor-made programs, flexibility in the approach, and more stress on the detailed comprehensive case studies started giving me unbelievable results, which really took me to experiment every day, and every day was with the results. Okay, so nevertheless, learning never stopped until today. With 2 decades of run that I started practicing, of which today I celebrate my 10 years of my own Fitness First physical physiotherapy and rehabilitation clinic. All these years that I have worked, maybe a few years in the institution and full time in my clinic, professional clinician, as a clinician, they gave me to expand my activities and involve more into pediatric rehabilitation, okay, which was the most needed in my place. Okay, though I'm super specialized in neuro, extensive, I said, I was getting unbelievable results. I loved the results that I was getting in the field of pediatrics. Okay, and today I am with a trust. We came out with a trust called Lalit Academy and Research Center to serve the needy in a befitting fashion. Definitely, it would be a kind in Dharwad. Okay, so that's my passion that's growing every day, and it's just not myself, it's the profession that's giving me the upliftment. Adnan Swami goes, thoda sa lift kara de. The profession is giving me a lift to my soul satisfaction. Okay, so I'm very happy to present you all this topic today. As suggested, a lateral approach itself becomes a question mark. Why this and what is all about that? So rehabilitation is a global picture. We have neuro rehabilitation, we have ortho rehabilitation, we have pediatric rehabilitation extensively, but here only rehabilitation to enhance the difference that we practice as a physiotherapist. Maybe we have studied extensively in one subject, but when it comes to practicality, we have to handle every patient. That's important for us, and we have to know all the subjects. That's the reason I just had a touch over the UG and PG, where we never take it very seriously at times, and we enjoy the life though, the student's life, right? So the next slide that I would be going is a very interesting thing, sudden change here. But this is to the students that you have to master your basics. Anatomy, physiology, neurology. When I used to open these books in my UG, I used to just close it immediately. Because we always had that tagline for anatomy that it is a very volatile, the pages also may fly off. And we used to keep under our pillows anatomy books, right? Physiology as it was. Neurology, no, in my UG. But masters, I had got it by choice, by default, right? So let me put these areas to all of your, the students, in a different fashion. Okay, that's because we are going to be professionals as we finish our UG and PG and attend the cases clinically. Now I'm going to take you through a few areas of human body and the cases here. So this person approached me with a difficulty in lifting his hand. Okay, this is a very attractive picture that I have, and anybody can put into the chat box accordingly, diagnose the case with just one picture. Okay, so they can start putting their views over here in the chat box. What exactly the diagnosis just by seeing the picture. Okay, so when we go to the diagnosis, you can see the chart over here in terms of physiotherapy point of view. Now, imaging has become a major part of the diagnosis, as because no small things should be left out. Okay, so but when it comes to physiotherapy, imaging plays only a 10% part over examination. As per the case, it takes 20% part of the case study. Very important is history taking, which plays more than 70% of the case study. So history taking itself, may lead to you acquaintanceship of your diagnosis. It can even at times, the way we approach the patient while history taking can even give a relief, a lot of relief to the patient during this stage. Okay, so when we're talking about shoulder, so many conditions, the differential diagnosis that we talk about can come across our brain. Okay, depending on the structures involved. Just that the patient is not able to lift his hand. It can be anything. We have not asked him anything yet. But that all things start coming into our mind. The list is big. Well, the diagnosis, rotator cuff, capsule, painful stiff shoulder, labrum, articular cartilages. We have to study them in our UGs and PGs. If I don't study, I can't even put these differential diagnoses now when I'm practicing. Well, to make it very pictorial and colorful, I've just placed this picture in front of you all. When a person comes with a pain in the shoulder and the difficulty in lifting or difficulty in doing his daily activities, we come across a lot of, as I stated over there, a lot of differential diagnosis. It may be frozen shoulder, osteoarthritis, shoulder dislocation, labral tear, shoulder tendinitis, rotator cuff tear, etc. We have to come to some conclusion where we can give a difference to the person. Okay, so with the other case studies, which are imaging can help to remove some differential diagnosis. Examination can help us remove some differential diagnosis. Now, when we come to the frozen shoulder, as per the thing, so we go back where? We go back to the anatomy, we go back to the physiology, we go back to our basics, that is dermatomes, myotomes, the course of the nerve, it may be, on the muscles. Now, when it is the anatomy, typically as a shoulder complex, we start remembering all different joints over there. So, and the ligaments and, bursas and everything. So when it comes to adhesive capsulitis, it is a very common condition that we see with the case where he cannot, he has difficulty in lifting the hand. So it's named as frozen shoulder right away. Where we see the physiological, shortening of the capsule over here. So it is called as adhesive capsulitis. So here, let's go in a different way. Now take the case, start studying about the differential diagnosis, study them thoroughly, come to the patient, examine them, put your knowledge over into it, and then come to a conclusion. Now he may come clinically to you all where he would say, I have difficulties in, drying my clothes. I have difficulty in traveling in the bus. I have difficulty doing my daily chores, weightlifting, lifting the heavy weights at home. Difficulty in, doing the work at workplace. Difficulty in combing. Difficulty in lifting the hands. A professional singer can have difficulties in playing his instruments, or scratching his back, upper back, or wearing his trousers, or the toilet activities. But our conclusion would go to the diagnosis over there. What is that exactly we need to do? So when we come later, as exercise therapy being a part of us, we have listed, very nicely depicted by these wonderful people, where they have put it very colorfully. Some give it as handouts, some show them to the people how to exactly do it, and a lot of other things that we have, varied exercises, innovative exercises for the patients in their home place or workplace, or during their activities. Well, before anything, let me come to the picture that I showed under the shoulder, with a person difficulty in lifting his hand, was a case of frozen shoulder secondary to stroke, that is hemiplegia. Now here definitely the treatment process or the treatment approach will definitely change. Yes, because it is not exactly the shoulder complex which has some injuries over there. Now there were others, a severe case, and several cases are presented to us. Maybe, when we are doing the things, undiagnosed rotator cuff injuries may be there. Small tears can be go undiagnosed by the doctor themselves. But we would definitely, as we work with the patient through and through with a session, maybe a week, 15 days, or whatever the sessions that we go, we can analyze the patient. Okay, we can definitely make a difference. Yes, that the differential approach that we present here would give you the best results. The second section would be the knee. Knee joint, when it comes, very common presented case is osteoarthritis to us. Yeah, but a very memorable case that I had was this. I have drawn very roughly because I was, I was scared. I was amazed to see such a case. She was almost 65, leading her life all through with this condition. Can you imagine this? By profession, she was a teacher. The place where she was working never gave her some concessions, like she had to climb 3 floors up to teach the students. And in between, it was so much so that there were no tables or chairs for the teachers kept in the classroom. So she had to do her teaching standing. Yeah. And I was like, I would love, I really insisted her, let me talk to your principal, the school principal, to give you some concessions over the, work on the ground floor or the basements. She was like, no, it didn't work out. Okay. So the only expectations of this lady was, please help me, you know, lead my life. She was from a low class cadre, and financials were the issue. She was a single mother taking care of two children, and she had a lot of issues with swelling of the knee and the legs, and a lot of pain in the legs. With the extensive workup, as she was spiritually a spiritual lady as well, she had, the main concern was that make me sit down and let me do my puja, at least on the stool. Okay. But with an extensive work of this lady, I could definitely get her into the cross sitting and also get her knee flexion totally. So this was an extensively remembered case where I had to work through and through with, on everyday basis with her uh, and her household activities, along with the profession, that she had to go to school at 8 o'clock and come back at 6 o'clock. Then also I had to give her the time to give a change in her life. Okay. So it's been almost 3 years that I've done with her, and still today she is very actively, and she just gives me a ring, and she says, I'm doing fine. Okay. Another very second case that I present in front of y'all is ONE. Okay, as we all know, there's a bowing of the leg. Okay, the bowing of the leg like this. We work over, for the osteoarthritis second or the third grade, before going to the replacements, knee replacements, maybe partial or complete. Now we work with the patient over here. Well, again, a lot of people do not choose to go to surgical line immediately. Extensive work with exercise therapy, electrotherapy. What I got, the result was only with the shoe modification added. Okay. The answer session, the question and answer sessions would be taken later on. Let me complete the case. So with a shoe modification, with the shoe modification that I gave her, you can see the foot. Specifically, I've given the foot picture over here. The correction of the intoing, the wedging that we give actually for the osteoarthritis. I had an extensive case where I worked with a shoe modification for 1 year. The doctor was very happy that the space that is reduced on the medial compartment of the knee joint was also, increased with the shoe modification. So this case was another case which I had extensively with the shoe modification case. So that's okay. So what we see the next case is like huge lady, who came to me just to say that I haven't been, I have a lot of knee pain, and I haven't been sitting since almost 18 to 20 years. Okay. Just because she was obese, they always managed 90-degree sitting, chair sitting. Well, this was a very, very challenging case, as because in my place, the main requirement is squatting for the toilet activities. Very, very few people, or maybe around 30 to 40% have the commode nowadays, but many of them are going into westernized toilet presentations over there. But when the case was examined, she had low back pain, sciatica, and different issues with obesity as well. So we worked through and through with her step by step. And just a matter of 25 to 30 days, we got her to squatting. We reduced her weight and also her other conditions. So then we approach such cases where it is very difficult to even see, and we are amused, or like we are very skeptical, like, should I take this case? So let's go back to the basics again and remember what all do I need to correct, what all do I have to remember my UG, PG basics. So here, the nerve supply, is it important? Yes, to develop the muscles, right? The articular, the anatomy part of the knee joint, where exactly the muscular part, the dermatomes, the myotomes. Why? Because with the extensor that she's not been sitting since 14 years or 18 years, a lot of changes would have been gone, the one over the other. That we say, like chronic over acute cases being presented. Okay, the chronic case has already been there, and acute cases adding on to it, and they become chronic stage wise. Okay, so the anatomy, physiology, and neurology come back again. We go reverse way, where we take a case, we start studying their conditions, we examine them, and then we start making a difference in their presentations and our approach. Okay. Oh, one of my favorite section. Only after I did my MPT. Well, let me present you this case. 5 years ago, we just came with paresthesias in the sole. Okay, just the sole. Unable, difficulty in walking. He feels a cotton feel in while walking or stepping. Never felt the ground. So it went to differential diagnosis again, and when we thoroughly examined him, okay, through and through, like again when we have to remind our anatomy, physiology, or neurology, the issues of this, the major issue which was not even touched, okay, was IVDP, almost the third stage. Okay, so eventually it is the thing that we see is centralization or peripheralization that we understand. The centralization that we start working from, that means working from the periphery to the central aspect. Now the patient would definitely ask you, I have pain or numbness in my foot, why are you working on the other ground? So here it is very important to, while we are taking a history, to at least make the person aware that it is not just that. Just because a foot can be presented in many different differential diagnoses, where we have paresthesias, or maybe even plantar fasciitis, or maybe because of the TA issues. Okay, or the nervous compressions over there peripherally. Now, when this case was, we started working on him initially to give a symptomatic relief locally. We also started working centrally. Okay, we have different approaches towards the spine. Spine is huge. Okay, a long list to get down. So when we started working centrally also, what difference did it make was, started relieving him of these initial clinical symptoms that he came with. Sorry. Then he started changing his requirement. He said, I just want to get rid of my sole paresthesias. But then he was like, let me start walking. He came down to my hospital, which is at the basement, dragging his leg. 2 people had to be supporting to him to get down to the clinic. And he couldn't even drive his car or sit for a longer time. All these things, when the case started improving, his expectancy started increasing. Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Help me do this. Later on, it was so much that I would love to do trekking also. So definitely I had to get his total limb, examined, where almost 1.5 inch was difference in the thigh region, quadriceps, hamstrings together. So we had to work extensively to build up his leg. Today, after 4 years, the person runs, treks, drives like 8 hours, 16 hours, whatever, extensively. Only if I had gone through a traditional approach, I would say definitely no to this case. But just because I had an thorough examination, and I had started my experimenting, trial and error basis, which is really bad. but trial and error can be good for the patient. Why not do it, right? So it definitely helped. And today, it's just I'm part and parcel of their prayers too, right? So that makes me happy. Well, this is a second case which is out of the state, comes from Maharashtra case. Same again, that he had a difficulty in walking. He was limping. Okay. All the examinations were done clinically, imaging through MRI, Doppler, blood test, everything was done. Okay. What it said was again through MRI that IVDP at multiple levels, including the cervical, and Doppler was also showing little deficiencies, and hip was the issue, where they had told that it had already compressed. Now, as because he was from the different state, and now during the COVID, this is like 1 month, 15, 20 days old, 1 month case. I was very reluctant to touch this case. Okay. Now, hip, in the sense, when we talk about it, it may go to AVN or it may go to osteoporosis. As a very young person, 39. So what I started was, let me see part by part, the leg, the foot, the leg, the thigh, and everything. So finally, what it came up to was like he was he couldn't sit down at all. He had never sat, and since 1 year he was going like doctor shoppings. So here the approach was that he first work on his nervous part, the presentations of the clinical presentations that he gave, and also through the muscles, which I had to really get them back to give him the strength, and also examine the spine, the total back as well, and his hip joint. You can't believe I got results in just 4 days. The patient was able to put his leg across, and this, what you see, the second picture is like 50% of his movement that we can see in just 4 days. And that's the reason I have posted in front of you this case. Okay. So when we see the case 3, I've just put the MRI over here, which when clinically presented was being just left out. It was a case of flat back, but IVDP in the L4, L5, L5S1 range. So eventually I had to go back to my basics to redo my dermatomes, myotomes, the affection where I have to work with, and give a change to the person. Now there was another case which presented from Sankeshwar, where it was, transfracture. Okay, and the lady was beyond 60, and the doctors had advised we can't do the surgery as well. So it has to be conservative treatment. So you can imagine what the transfracture can work with, and how the patient presents with. So definitely we gave her a relieving factor to work in her day-to-day activities. Okay, simple to say. The next slide, the kyphosis itself, the posture of a spine which gets fixed, okay, which cannot be moved at all. Most of the people who are 6 feet tall, and I see them, practically with these cases, maybe a mild kyphosis or a severe kyphosis according to their lifestyle. So what we see here, the common symptoms is the visible hump on the back, spine stiffness, rounded shoulder, and fatigue, mild back pain, tight hamstrings. The person would never know himself because he's not aware medically. He's a layman. He knows only that I'm getting pain in the back. Very serious symptoms that may come across is like numbness, weakness, tingling in the legs, loss of sensation, shortness of the breath, and breathing difficulties. So how long it had been? It's a chronic condition. How long the person has been in this shape? Why is he doing this? So until and unless you go back to the history taking, these things we cannot solve. Okay, we have to enter into cardiorespiratory, we have to enter into orthopedics, we have to enter into neurology, you know, biomechanics, everything. Okay, once such a case is presented to us. So what I present to you all is again go back in a reverse fashion. Go back to your basics, read your anatomy, physiology, and like as every pictures I'm stating you all, very beautiful. I love to draw this picture of the cross section of the spine. There's so many things to work out with that. Okay, reading an MRI sometimes is very cross thing. What are you doing with that MRI? But it is a must today to know the basics and diagnose your patients from the central point of view. That's a core diagnosing. Now, the another picture that I have put up here is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic part of the study, where you also have to know that the organs also have their depiction over the physical body. Okay, so anything that may be related with the internal organs can also work out with the spinal or the other part of the body. So it is not just one way of thinking. Again, I say it's a lateral approach that gives you a difference, that you make a difference in your approach, right? So spine is very simple. Put across. Neuro. To start with, it was very, for me as a super specialization initially, it was very difficult to start with, and I was struggling like anything to finish up my PG course at least. But today I'm so proud that I specialized in neuro, and I shall present you my very typical cases over here happily. Okay, so the case one is a stroke case, a very common case in neuro. Given away that the person may not live longer, let him be as he is. So with all his NG tube and catheters and the family members working very hard to get him activated, motivated, or whatever, with just a few home visits and the approach, got him sitting in 3 days. Okay, now today he's in my clinic, sitting all by himself. He had Usher syndrome, which we extensively worked with him, and in just matter of 1 month, we got him up walking. Now he can pull his legs. He has motivated himself. He wants to do more. He asks for the, we have set the exercise protocol for him, and he knows what to do next. He asked for them, though he cannot speak. We are working on the oromotor also to him. He had a difficulty in swallowing as well. So we worked with it, and today he is fine now with the eating and the swallowing. And we are training with the oromotor section, where he is able to at least pull out his sounds, and we are working over his speech as well. Now you can see a part of still pending Usher syndrome over there. Okay, so very happy to get the results within 1 month. That means a stroke of 4 months old. Okay, so it's very important to detect early, to get early to your physiotherapist, and then recover faster or earlier, right? So this picture says that all. Now the second case, very common to everybody, facial palsy, or the Bell's palsy that we call, sorry. How long does it take normally? Sometimes it does not recover at all. Okay, so it's a challenging here, just because it becomes more of the look part, especially for the younger age. I have seen people coming with 16 years, 24 years, 32 years, unmarried people getting married. Everything goes haywire. Life just drops down like that. So for us, it is a challenging case to give them a faster recovery, right? So until and unless we put a differential approach over here, we cannot get it through. Now, immediately when the patient presents to us, after the occurrence of the condition, we can try over. As we say, within 21 days, I have done a lot of recoveries of Bell's palsy over here. Some parts remains, like maybe 10 to 20% remains residually, which eventually increases with the follow-up. Okay, I mean, the patient starts getting better. Okay, so very classical case here presented to me. A lady who was muted, muted in the sense physically, mentally, verbally, everything. She was a robot. Give something in her hand, maybe she knows, she doesn't know how much to eat, spills over, everything. She was brought to me saying that, diagnosed by doctors saying it's a Parkinson's case. But as the case history went on, as in-depth case history went on, it was just psychological, not eating for too many days, and sudden drop in the sugar levels, and many things. Okay, psychological issues. I started training her in my clinic. So my clinic is very small, along with the pediatric section, which I have. And the efforts now making with these people are that I connect them with the pediatrics as well. And these are the after pictures that I have in just 14 days. The 4th day, she was very active. Now the changes which we made was through diet. Her diet plans, lifestyle, day-to-day activities were changed. Her family people were talked to how to manage her. And then this is a daughter which said at the day of discharge, "Ma'am, please, I want a photo with my mother," who was actively and out. She started, that was the time of Ganesh Chaturthi. She made laddus, chaklis. She washed her own clothes. Can you imagine this drastic improvement, changes? Unbelievable. This was a miracle to me, a change to me that I had seen, and today I'm feeling so happy. Thanks KSPF to giving me a chance to present myself and my extremely extensive cases over here, on this platform. Well, another case. Don't feel that these are all geriatrics just because my place is a place where it's a very nice and quiet place where all the senior citizens are here in my place. The majority are my senior citizens. A very nice lady, actually almost given away again a hemi, but the hemiplegia was recovered immediately 1.5 years ago, but presented again with a weakness, a liver failure, jaundice was there, and she was like lying down. I don't want to do anything, I just want to go. She has 8 children, and during the COVID times, nobody visiting her. She went into total depression. So all that I could advise the family members was like, please get her to my clinic. Let me work on her. Just a 1 week photo we have in front of you. Yeah, and she's such a lively lady now. Very good friend of mine now, right? And the case 5 is again, as you see, and he is a person very well known, had very high heights of his profession. He's a very highly known person in my place here. But I was taken to his house when I was introduced him for a home visit, and he was sitting outside in a chair with the 3 people around. Seeing his posture and this itself, I said I cannot, I mean, it was very far though. I said I cannot be visiting his house, but please plan to get him to my clinic. And again, the depression, as I said, was leading to him that I have finished everything in my life and I don't want to leave now. So I don't want to, don't touch me also, just get me rid of my knee pains. I cannot walk, I cannot stand on myself. And somebody has to be all the time to support me to walk and travel from one place, one room to the another at home. So he was homebound after having his extensive 40 years of professional working. But as we started working with physiotherapy, and eventually we could see a wonderful smile coming out of him, and he is still active at home. What I just said was, you have to be active until you're alive. Okay, so that was the difference. I would give it to you, all of that, but nothing more. As because osteoarthritis is a part of aging. Aging itself is a part of aging. And added obesities or the effects of immobilizations are all together there. But it is again the mental setup of a patient that we need to work over to get this extensive changes. Okay, so definitely these are my cases over here. But going back to the basics, we need to know them. Today, neuro has become the basics: anatomy, physiology, neurology, the part of the brain. Um, see, anatomically, the brain has been named on different areas: vernix areas, olfactory areas, sensory areas, emotional areas, the frontal lobe. If the frontal lobe goes, socially the patient is gone. But it never presents a typical case. Frontal lobe affection, we can see social activities being gone. Olfactory area, totally going with the vision areas or speech areas. It never happens that it typically goes. It has an enhancing, the very varied picture when the patient presents to us. Just because it is not presented early and it becomes a chronic case and added physical issues start up, right? So we have to know the basics. Now, very different picture that I've placed over here is the homunculus, which we need to know. Okay, so go back to your books and know them thoroughly, and start reading as the case we start handling the cases. So then it sits in your mind with the case name as I presented here in front of you. I will never forget the theoretical part. I'll never forget the case, just because they remember me each and every day, right? Now, what I talked about, the Bell's palsy that we have. So it's definitely we need to work over the facial nerve. Is it facial palsy or Bell's palsy? Can I get the change or no? Right? So then work saying that we have to until Bell's palsy is a recovering case. It can be recovered, but facial palsy, it has to be worked over. Right? So we need to have a differential approach. We can use facial PNF, we can use facial massage, we can use the electrotherapy, we can use exercise therapy over here and get the results. Definitely. Again, only if you know your basics. Right? The pediatric section. Well, very, very challenging section here. As because the child doesn't speak out, it cannot tell the problems it has. We have to be very particular about what we speak or what we ask or what we diagnose. Generally, whatever presents to us gets into CP or MR or different conditions very rarely that we see, right? But child is as a whole an anatomy book for us, a physiology book for us, a neurology book for us. It is an ortho book, neuro book, everything, pediatric. Okay, so it's a book that we need to study. So it is definitely a challenging case. As I started working, this child was after 1 or 2 months that I took the photo. It had come to me exactly at 6 months where the child has to sit. So the parents got through a doctor referral came to me. The child cannot sit and all those things. So eventually it was there with me until it started standing or walking. Okay. So that just like we changed again, and we changed the diet patterns. We work on the NDT, SI, and all those things. And we started working as 9 months, 10 months. We started working on the oromotor. The eating habits were being changed, and even the exercises were given to the parents to do it over the child. So involvement of the parents was the most important thing here, which I got excellent results. So the child is almost 1.5 years now. You can see that there's a video. These are the video where the clippings are being given. It is working. It is cooperating. It is the child is already speaking and involving itself into the activities of home, play, and has been started walking. So day before yesterday night, I got a call saying that my child walked 4 steps, and it's all because of you. So what is that again? It's a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing for us. And I'm so proud to be a physiotherapist and into a rehabilitation section where I can get a change from age of 0 to 90, 90 plus, or anything extensively, just with the lateral approach that we can work with. Yeah? A very new 15 days old case here with me. The second case came with the Erb's palsy. Totally hypotonic, nothing. The child was just 2 kgs over here, and it was just a small baby and a small model play working with. They're very difficult to work with. But eventually, as because again they were from the different place, visiting was once in a week or twice a week. So I had to work on it. So I talked to the mother, with the diet pattern, and as the child is just 15 days old, you can't give it anything. So you had to talk to the mother who is feeding. So definitely we work with, I can't give her stimulation as in the Erb's palsy. We can't work with electrotherapy as well. So we had to work with, again, the nervous system. The Erb's palsy is by definition, or by chapter itself. So we started working with the hand activities, the elbow activities, the shoulder activities, shoulder girdle, the neck, back, everything. Well, in matter of just 5 sittings, the child started flexing its elbow and started moving its shoulder. Okay. Very small picture over here. The child is from Lucknow actually, which I remember very nicely because she was a very doll-like, I never seen such a case with a huge head, very fair and smart, but with the torticollis. Torticollis in the childhood couldn't move to see, mobility was restricted, eating habits were difficult, and everything had to be corrected over here. Today, she stands out to the best child in the school. So why this Lalit Academy and Research Center came out is to give a differential approach and get the children to normal schooling, not to make them another handicap in the society. So these approaches are extensively like results oriented just because the lateral approach has been given. Okay. Now as students, as overall that, just to put it up, to become the best professions, we have to show the difference with humbleness, patience, a confident smile that we know our subjects well, and in-depth case taking, acumenship, that's the precise diagnosis we come over a period of time that we start working with the case. The magical hands, definitely physiotherapy is known with its magical hands and the healing touch, not as a massager. Well, magical hands and the healing touch and the confidence of the patients on us that we start getting with when we are one-on-one with the patient. Well, so who is the best mentor here? So the best mentor you can find is within yourself. Get motivated, be charged, be excited all the time to see the case as a new book, as a new chapter. Then definitely you can make a difference. So everywhere we talk about prevention is better than cure, always. Yes, but does it happen everywhere? Especially in physiotherapy? The above statement looks very true when you can foresee the possible physical problems and prevent them from happening. Only when I know it, I can prevent it. That I have hereditary sugar, diabetes in my family. Can I stop my diabetes coming? Many say no. Okay, but we can only if I know it before and I start working towards it. Okay, but it applies less over here where we see patients coming after encountering the issues. Okay, 90% or maybe 98% of the problems are already encountered as the patient presents to us with many of the additive conditions. That means a chronic case rather than just one single condition. Imagine how much we have to, compress. It is like you tell a big story and then immediately tell them to tell in brief, in just 4 or 5 sentences. It's that difficult for us. That's how it is being here. Hence, it becomes very important to detect early, intervene early for earlier and better recovery. Okay. For example, a long-standing Bell's palsy or the frozen shoulder case would also include psychological and social issues, rather than just the condition, which will contribute for a slower recovery as well. Okay, it will take months together, even say pediatrics, it will take years together for bringing the changes, right? So it goes without saying that we need to conduct many health awareness programs, educate people about the possible health hazards and how it can be avoided to the max by simple lifestyle changes, by also, understanding what physiotherapy can play a role in their life, right? So that's very important here. Now, all said and done, just to give you an introduction about physiotherapists, very rare to put it at an end, but we all know it. But I would love to share it in front of you all. Recovery is a focus, not maintenance. गाड़ी नहीं है जो maintain करते जाएंगे. It is recovery is our focus. Okay, so you do not need a doctor's referrals to see a physiotherapist, as because we are inner city educated health professionals over here, right? We know our body, we know the body mechanics very well, provided you read it very well. So we are not just about helping recover, from aches and pains. We are more beyond it. We work in all sorts of different settings, not just clinics. Can I tell you that ergonomics works in the, what do we say, in the like companies, corporate sectors, right? So that's upcoming stuff now. We are involved in the leading edge research. Every day we do some or the other, as I said, trial and error, and we get to a result, and that itself is a research. It's a leading edge. I have learned this much and I'm doing some research, and that is a research for me. It may not be big thing. Oh, we have extensive physiotherapists in Karnataka, and overall that are doing extremely well, and they're innovating. They're working, beyond imaginations in their fields, orthopedics, any cardiovascular, anything. They are doing a leading edge research. Okay. Now, physiotherapist will definitely give you a homework as a teacher, but only to keep you active, motivated, and excited to keep, you healthy till you're alive, till the last breath, what we talk about. Well, now with a huge the process that I've been through, UG, PG, my clinical experiences, all that I can state through this picture is we are there in reducing the pain, restoring the health, and enhancing life. Okay. Now 2020, I celebrate almost like 19-20 years of my experience. Now physiotherapy is a treatment to restore, maintain, and make the most of the patient's mobility, function, and well-being. Physiotherapy helps through physical rehabilitation, injury prevention, health, and fitness. Okay, physiotherapy gets you involved in your own recovery. That is very important. The physiotherapy is interested in you as a person who may feel lost in the world, who may feel lost in the family, who may feel that I have nobody to think about. Physiotherapy plays a very important role over here. Okay, so the field of physiotherapy is ever changing and expanding. Yes, definitely. The picture itself makes me work over it. The modern day lifestyle, and rather eating habits, or the lifestyle, are posing diverse problems to many. Okay, so this is the time for all the physiotherapists to think more proactively towards the general lifestyle of the people, educate them towards a healthy lifestyle, and also add life to the ailing people with the multiple physical issues. Okay, so As a traditional approach, treating a patient with the symptoms and the signs and symptoms as they have come to us, rather a lateral approach would make a difference here. Okay, I'm just highlighting this lateral approach and the difference. Then you are recognized in your place, you're recognized across your doctors, you're recognized across your colleagues. Okay, we can adopt a bit of pragmatic approach to go more in depth of the circumstances which has led the patients to the present situation. Then plan our treatment to relieve them of their disabilities and help them to lead a very comfortable life. Maybe not 100%, but at least that is what it is said, near normalcy. Okay, may not be totally normal. Definitely we can give a normal, can get them to a normal life, but if it is a ailing, a chronic ailing, it will be near normalcy. Okay, so the lateral approach is all about your approach, your study, your research, and your passion towards your profession. Yes, and love yourself and be proud of being a physiotherapist, and also in the medical fraternity, that you are going to play a lot of difference and bring a change in anybody's life. Okay, to put further, we have also been innovative towards a multimedia section for the physiotherapist platform, where we are having physiotherapy websites and mobile applications. To give an overview here, we are specialized in developing these apps over there, and we build professional presentations and seminars to make it very professional. Digital marketing, that is social media, then medical illustration and animations for physiotherapists, and visual aids and online trainings that we are all going through. So e-models, e-learning models are being developed over here. So we are into medical writing of, writing blogs, case studies, making a write-up, or, if anybody wants to write the articles or books, we make a process to work for that. So hospital management, basically when we have a process-oriented trainings to collaboratively, happily work together in an environment. Okay, and also medical innovative equipment manufacturing for physiotherapists especially. So it is a time to all the physiotherapists that you become innovative, experimental, try your trial and errors, but don't fail. Failure is a step to success, but know where you're going, plan it well, and bring the difference. So thank you, KSPF, for giving me this time. Dr. Kirti? Hello?
It was a wonderful talk
I thought I was lost.
today, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Giri. No,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
here. I mean, I was just waiting for Kirti Priya to come in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was really wonderful insight, wherein a lot of case study is given, right? And that is
Yeah.
what budding physiotherapists need, right? They need to see, as to how the improvements are happening, and how a physiotherapist can change life of so many family members, right? So
Yeah.
it's not just one person who is benefited out of it. The whole family benefits out of it. So that's wonderful. So we'll
Yeah.
just wait and see if we can get some questions from the audience.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So I see
So
one question on the
yeah,
chat box. Yeah.
right. You can please answer, madam. Go ahead.
In Karnataka, this field has less scope compared to other medical field. Somebody told. The girl is from first year. What do you say about this? So basically, today's topic was just to give a hike to physiotherapy part. Just because even I was with the same notion in my first year, and I was reluctant of doing my BPT as well, my UG. So I had to, I literally fought with my parents, why this course. Well, definitely you can think over it, because you have to think from all the point of view. Definitely you have to come across certain situations that will put you in to answer yourself. Now, yes, it has a less scope, just because, as I said, the differential approach that we are not, we are going into the traditional approach. Doctors have a lot of doctors. There are a lot of schools of thoughts that we say, but as a student, what I say again and again, be proud to be a physiotherapist. And you do not know what is way ahead with your life. That is what is a visionary person says. That is why your parents have put you into physiotherapy. Maybe knowingly or unknowingly. That's what I came into my UG. But know it, that you are going to give a difference. Okay. So maybe it may be less scope. You are the one to bring it up. So everything starts with me first. The change starts with me. So you have to bring the change.
Absolutely, Dr. Vijayalakshmi Giri. As you said, when we started our studies or career, physiotherapy was, not a well-known course as such, and as to what people are
Exactly.
now, right? So, definitely, even my family members didn't know what the scope of physiotherapy was, and
True.
even I practically didn't know as what the lady has told. But as I started, going ahead with my studies, learning the importance of it, and as to
And
how we can
Mahendra sir,
cater
definitely
to.
I'm
Yes,
so
ma'am.
proud of KSPF. I mean, it's doing a wonderful job,
Yeah.
bringing, highlighting all the physiotherapists of the area and beyond, whoever are there outside, settled outside as well. So congratulations to you all, and I wish all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. A wonderful platform today for you to showcase how we've been dealing with patients. Thank you so much for your time and
Exactly. Thank you,
a
one and
wonderful
all.
webinar. Thank you,
Yes,
everyone. Good night.
yes. Thank you. Good night.